Donald Trump didn't beat the system. He leaned on it until it bent for him. Every bankruptcy, every lawsuit, every collapse should have been the end. Instead, they became stepping stones. This video explains how failure becomes an advantage when the rules don't apply to you. People think they already know this story. They think it starts in 2016 with a loud candidate, a shocking election, a system that somehow failed. They think this was an accident. It wasn't. Donald Trump didn't appear out of nowhere. He didn't hijack power. He didn't break the system. He followed a path that had already been cleared for him decades earlier. This is not a story about politics. It's not a story about ideology. And it's not a story about personality. It's a story about how power reproduces itself quietly, legally, and repeatedly. To understand Trump, you don't start with crowds or slogans. You start with money. Long before the Trump name meant wealth or influence, it meant survival. Donald Trump's grandfather, Friedrich Trump, arrived in the United States as a teenager, German-born, 16 years old. No status, no connections, no inheritance. Like millions of immigrants, he learned something quickly. America does not reward virtue. It rewards positioning. At first, Friedrich Trump cut hair in New York at his uncle's barbershop. Honest work. Low ceiling. Then history shifted. The gold rush began pulling men west. Men with cash, men without families, men disconnected from social restraint. Where that kind of population gathers, certain businesses always appear. Food, alcohol, and places to spend the night. Friedrich Trump followed that flow. What he built wasn't simply a restaurant, and it wasn't simply a hotel. It was a frontier business model that thrived where regulation was thin. Entertainment downstairs, private rooms upstairs. Whether every detail was legal mattered less than one thing. It worked. This is the first pattern worth noticing. Trump money did not begin with invention or production. It began with servicing demand where oversight was weak. That principle never disappeared. After making his fortune, Friedrich Trump attempted to return to Germany. That decision exposed another rule of power. Borders are firm until they aren't. German authorities concluded he had left illegally to avoid military service. By that time, he had taken American citizenship. Germany's response was blunt: leave, permanently. So Friedrich Trump returned to the United States, not as a failure, but as a man who had already learned something essential. Systems don't punish everyone equally. They punish those who lack leverage. Soon after his return, his son was born. That son would inherit more than money. He would inherit a method. That son was Fred Trump. Fred Trump did something crucial. He didn't chase glamour. He didn't gamble on novelty. He converted rough frontier capital into something far more powerful. Real estate, mass housing, government-backed loans, long-term leverage. This was not Manhattan's spectacle. This was institutional proximity. And proximity matters. Court records later showed discriminatory housing practices, refusing to rent to black tenants. These were not rumors. They were documented cases. But what matters more than the acts themselves is what followed. No exile, no erasure, no collapse. Instead, continuity. Fred Trump learned something his father had already demonstrated. If you operate close enough to the system, but not fully inside it, consequences become negotiable. That lesson would shape the next generation. His son, Donald Trump, was not raised to improvise. He was raised to occupy space confidently. Military school wasn't about combat. It was about hierarchy, discipline, and command presence. He graduated. But when actual war arrived, Vietnam, he didn't go. Medical deferments followed. This is not about courage or cowardice. It's about repetition. Once again, the system absorbed the risk for him. That pattern had now spanned 3 generations. Donald Trump entered real estate with 3 advantages: money, access, a protected name. What he lacked was restraint. Large loans followed. So did ambitious expansions. Casinos in Atlantic City, businesses designed to extract money from risk, failed under mismanagement. Bankruptcies came. But notice what did not happen. No permanent exile from finance, no disappearance, no loss of legitimacy. Banks renegotiated, losses were distributed. The name survived. This reveals a central rule of modern power. Failure is survivable if the system decides you are worth preserving. Trump did not escape consequences because he avoided them. He escaped because consequences were diluted. Then came branding. Trump University, not a university, a seminar operation selling access, confidence, and aspiration. The state of New York sued, settlements followed, then a charitable foundation. Donations flowed in. Proper charitable use largely did not. Again, not outrage, pattern, boundary testing, extraction, settlement, continuation. By the time Donald Trump entered politics, public reporting, including from USA Today, showed thousands of legal disputes across decades. Yet nothing stopped him. Because nothing was designed to. People often ask why Trump entered politics. The answer is simpler than it sounds. Politics is where attention converts directly into leverage. Trump did not arrive with ideology. He arrived with instinct. Reform Party. Then Republicans. Whichever door was open widest. This wasn't inconsistency. It was alignment. Politics was not a belief system to Trump. It was another layer of insulation. Observers still debate Trump as if scandal should have stopped him. But scandal only works when a system agrees to enforce it. Trump had already passed through bankruptcies, lawsuits, settlements, reputational collapses. Each time, the system adjusted, not expelled. By the time he ran for president, he was already proof-tested. The structure knew him, and the structure recognized him. The biggest mistake people make is thinking Trump was the anomaly. He wasn't. He was the output. The visible product of a system that rewards early capital, forgives repeated failure, converts notoriety into legitimacy, and protects continuity over morality. This is why outrage failed. This is why exposure failed. This is why prediction models failed. They were analyzing the man. They should have been analyzing the machine. This story is not about whether Donald Trump is good or bad. That question doesn't matter. This story is about how power behaves when it is inherited, protected, and repeatedly forgiven. Trump did not hijack the system. He moved through it exactly as it was designed to allow. And the most uncomfortable truth is this: the system didn't reject him. It recognized one of its own.